Floyd outdoing him. He always
jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
I'm telling you, this version of Tank is gonna be dangerous, bruh. If you know about boxing, come on, it is GervontaDavis.
GervontaDavis just called out Floyd Mayweather after finding out he's been training Lamont Roach. Davis said Floyd keeps putting him in tough spots where he can't win. Floyd's training is showing results. Roach now moves with smooth footwork, lands clean punches, and defends smartly, showing he's locked in and prepared for a fight.
He almost hit you. Hold me. I know what y'all gonna do. I go that way for a reason. I wish I could record. I wish you record.
From the very start of his career, GervontaDavis faced manipulation and favoritism from Floyd Mayweather. What seemed like guidance at first slowly turned into control. People close to the scene noticed how Floyd often set things up to limit Davis's freedom. Rather than letting Davis shape his own legacy, Mayweather acted like he wanted to turn him into a copy of himself, while keeping him under his spotlight.
Adrian had the weigh-in. So from his weigh-in, they meet us at the food spot. So from there, we go to the gym. So remind you, they already got this set up. Floyd already got it set up. He already posted on Instagram. It probably was like 100 people in there, and he turned the heat up. That's what Floyd do. He turned the heat up in the gym while you're in there. So he turned the heat up. Boom. We spar, but while we sparring, Floyd is in the ring. Like every time I'm punching, Floyd like grab my hand, like yank it back. Whereas though I can't even punch Devin. So it was times that like I catch Devin, boom, or I'm about to swing and Floyd like yank my hand back, or he'll push me to the ropes. Like he was actually like touching me while we were sparring. Like
why?
Like, he was, cause it was like Devin was his guy, cause Devin was training at his gym at the time. So, and he was training with his father. So, Devin was on. Floyd was on Devin's side.
Sounds
so
like
that's
a conspiracy to me.
Yeah, but later down the line, probably about like a couple months. No, this was recently, not recently, but probably like 2 years ago. I asked Devin to like come to like spar me. He was like, "No, I ain't no sparring partner." I had somebody hit him up that was close.
Davis shared that during his sparring sessions with Devin Haney, Mayweather would often step in at key moments. Just as Davis began landing clean shots or taking charge, Floyd would stop the action or interrupt. It seemed like Haney was getting special treatment. Davis felt like he wasn't even allowed to stand out in private sessions meant to help him grow. This kind of interference made him feel held back by the very person who was supposed to support him.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. So I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Over time, Davis started to view his relationship with Mayweather less as a partnership and more like a controlled situation. He noticed that Mayweather put himself in charge of every decision, making sure he had the upper hand. Whether it was choosing fights or managing the media, Floyd's way of working seemed aimed at keeping control over Davis's career instead of helping him grow. This understanding led to rising mistrust and a growing gap between them.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. I don't say Terrence Crawford should fight Finna be there. That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
You next in line. This was you next in line.
Is there like a
The last question, guys.
is there like a love-hate for Floyd though? Like
Yeah.
fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And he cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Davis hasn't been shy about pointing out Mayweather's struggle to celebrate others. He believes Floyd's ego stops him from truly supporting anyone else's success. According to Davis, this attitude was a major reason Floyd hesitated to back a rematch with Roach. Instead of thinking about what was best for Davis, Floyd seemed more worried about losing attention to one of his own fighters.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we want.
The split between Davis and Mayweather Promotions wasn't quiet or smooth. It was noisy and messy, filled with public fights, passive-aggressive remarks, and disputes over who controlled the promotions. Davis wanted more freedom and honesty, but Mayweather was unwilling to give in. This breakup showed just how serious their problems were and made many fans realize their relationship had turned toxic long before it ended.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just gonna say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own boss.
Tension has been building for a long time, from arguments over opponents to different training styles. Davis and Mayweather have had clashes behind the scenes. Floyd often doubted Davis's choices, including the rematch with Roach. Still, Davis's dedication and hard work for this fight have surprised even his toughest critics, including Floyd. Davis knows what's on the line. Another loss would hurt his reputation much more than the first one.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, you know, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. You know, I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round, but as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. You know, so Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, you know, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
Excitement for the upcoming rematch is at an all-time high. Fans and experts are eager to see how both fighters handle the second fight. The first match left many questions unanswered. With Las Vegas expected to host, there's a feeling this fight will finally settle the rivalry and clear up where each fighter stands in the sport.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bro, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened to Roy.
In their first fight, Roach surprised many by testing Davis like never before. It wasn't just close, it showed a lot. Roach found weaknesses in Davis's defense, making people wonder if Davis was still improving or starting to fade. Now, the rematch is more than just a fight. It's a chance for Davis to prove himself by taking control and for Roach to show he belongs among the best.
Shout out to my man Lamont.
All right, so you sparred Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis.
Absolutely.
First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, he's Baltimore all day, but I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, the coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So I got to know them on a more personal level. And then I get to see like how hard a world champion works. And not only that, to see how he treated his people. So I was going for him just off of personality alone, but everything else, he made me believe in Kent for real. Cause me and him like have similar personalities. Know what I mean? As far as the ring, you know what I mean? So everything we was ready for, like talking shit and everything like that, cause that was coming from me, you know what I'm saying? Me and Lamont. So everything was just everything for real. I think he should have won too, you know what I'm saying? But actually when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna like rob, you know what I mean? But you can't, you know what I mean? You can't deceive the people that's there for what they saying for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the decision.
Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but I mean, we running it back for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Did that teach you?
Davis's team recognizes the challenge Roach presents. His trainer has openly praised Roach's smart fighting and toughness. Still, they're confident Davis just needs a few adjustments to perform much better. They believe the first fight was close because of small mistakes, not because Roach was more skilled. Now, their goal is to make the rematch a clear win for Davis.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Mm-hmm. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity. You know?
What's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jaleel won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily. You just got to...
Teofimo Lopez said that after the fight, Davis went through a kind of professional loneliness. Many people in boxing started to distance themselves, especially as criticism grew. Those who once praised Davis began to doubt his skills. This change showed how fast the boxing world can turn against someone when things don't go as expected.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
At the time of the first fight, Davis was mentally and emotionally exhausted. He admitted his focus was off and his physical health was struggling. Davis even thought about therapy and stepping away from boxing. Fighting while feeling like that brought extra pressure no one saw. The upcoming rematch gives him a chance to compete with a clear mind and fresh energy, showing his true abilities.
He wants to do therapy. He wants to do real estate. They want to say he wasn't all in because him and Roach are friends, and he's going to be focused for the second fight. A lot of excuses. They want to say it's because of the braids, you know, the oil getting in his eye. Whatever. This is what really happened. And I just now came to this conclusion because I've been making some other videos for Patreon, but Lamont Roach posted a video recently on...
Roach came into the first fight with a clear plan. He took advantage of Davis's slow reactions and low energy in the later rounds. These weaknesses weren't accidental. They were carefully targeted. Roach's win showed real questions about Davis's stamina and toughness. Now, the rematch will show if Davis has fixed those problems or if Roach's game plan will win again.
I don't know if Lamont Roach exposed weaknesses of Tank Davis. It very much reminds me of Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia. What Roach did, Rolly was doing the same thing. He ended up implementing it better against Ryan Garcia. Tank was having huge issues, and that's the Black Two Sugars. Watch me call that fight. I started laughing. I couldn't believe it because all he was patient with good power. All Roach was patient. He stayed focused. That's why him drinking and partying and shit is messing with me, because he beat him here. He stayed so damn focused, and he knew when Tank was going to punch. He knew when not to punch. And when he countered Tank, he rocked Tank. Tank got rocked at least twice that fight.
Some boxing experts say Davis's slip wasn't fully because of Roach. Instead, grease in his eyes, not a clean knockout, affected his balance and sight. That moment made people favor Roach, but those close to the fight say it wasn't as clear-cut as it looked. Knowing this, Davis is training harder than ever, ready to come back with better focus, both physically and mentally, to take control in the rematch and show his true strength.
People keep saying like Lamont dang near like beat Tank like clean, like basically like we seen it, like yeah, he did Tank that one, but like Tank was limping out the ring. Bro, he didn't even get over on Tank for real. Y'all only saying that because Tank took the knee. And when Tank took the knee, it wasn't how like Ryan Garcia was when he took the knee once Tank went to his body. It was like, dang, like I'm taking him and get right back up. Can you do that in boxing? No. But y'all can't say that basically that, oh yeah, he won because of the knee. That shows that people just want to see Tank lose, bruh. Cause y'all betting y'all money on basically Tank losing because of that knee. Yes, it was a good fight. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Lamont was defending himself like he's skilled. But bro, he ain't walk all over Tank. Tank, bro, if y'all go back and watch the highlights, I just watched the highlights last night.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for what's coming next.